Or are we possibly headed for something else? You say this and people go, fascism, please. Here's the definition. Fascism, a radical, authoritarian, nationalist ideology focused on solving economic, political, and social problems that its supporters see as causing national decline or decadence. Let's just chew on that for a second. Are we in national decline? Are we a decadent society? Some will say, oh my gosh, we're so far away from God. We'll look at the way we look at the porn and everything else going on. Others will say we're absolutely in decline because look what we're doing to the planet. It's a social program. They want to solve political. Well, we can solve the green. We can solve the green through political processes. We can help the planet through policies that tell the economy what kind of cars to build, what kind of cars to buy, what kind of power to make. They solve economic, political, and social problems. Fascists aim to create a single-party state in which the government is led by a dictator who seeks unity by requiring individuals to subordinate self-interest to the collective interest of the nation or a race. So in other words, you are forced to let go of your own individual petty ideas. It's for the good of the nation. It's for the good of the state. It's for the good of the collective. Some people, to quote Michelle Obama, are going to have to give up their piece of the pie. Fascist movements promote violence between nations, political factions, and races as a part of social Darwinist and militaristic views, yada, yada, yada. Let me see if I have this right. They promote violence between nations. Okay, I guess that's how you get that George Bush is a fascist. They promote violence between political factions. Well, there's no violence. But this is what I've been talking about for quite a while. We've got to stop hating each other. We've got to stop believing the worst in each other. You're not going to get that on television. You're not going to get that on radio. You're not going to get that in the newspapers. You're not going to get that from Washington. You got to get that in your own neighborhood. You don't hate a Democrat that you personally know. You may hate him, but not because he's a Democrat. You don't hate Republicans that you personally know. You hate them for other reasons. I hate somebody for real reasons. But see, our system is teaching us that we hate each other, that the other side is evil. I read one of the most amazing blog remarks from somebody I've ever seen. It was on this blog Media Bistro. And they're talking about, mainly they talk about Keith Olbermann and how he's going to rise and be fantastic someday. And what'd you say, Stu? Yeah, TV Newser, Media Bistro, TV Newser. No. The comment section. Have you ever seen the comment sections? Yeah, okay. So the comment section, they're mainly talking about, how Keith Olbermann is, he's hung the moon. This is a journalist's or a TV person's news site. This is where all the people in New York, this is where they gather to share different intellectual ideas. And they were talking about, and my ratings came up. And again, it was, I can hear the marching of the boots because of these fascists like Beck, blah, 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 blah. And somebody actually wrote a comment that said, these people are frightening and they've got to be stopped. Isn't there some way where we can just get rid of these people? Excuse me? I'm the fascist? Isn't there? Well, yes, there are. There's gas chambers. They've been handy before. There's firing squads. There's the Soviet gulag. But yes, there are ways to dispose of people that disagree with you. Usually not under the American system, but it has been done before. It's funny. It was done before, let's see, under Reagan? No. Oh, I remember under Woodrow Wilson, a progressive. Under FDR, a progressive. You know, I've been reading about the turn of the century, and I've been reading from 1910, and I've avoided 1900 and 1910 only because I used to like Theodore Roosevelt, and I have a feeling I'm going to end up hating him. I've been reading about 1910 to 1940, and I'm right now reading this great book called 1920. And talks about all the different people, Hoover and FDR and everything else. They're all progressives. All of them. They're all progressives. The Republicans, the Democrats, all of them. Hoover, the guy, you know, who caused the Great Depression, he was a progressive. They didn't think he'd get elected because they didn't think the Republicans would elect him because he was such a progressive. And I noticed that there had been times where people had been jailed for speaking out against the president, the policies, or the war, or in FDR's case, jailed because you refused to put the Blue Eagle in your store. Jailed because you wouldn't charge a certain price for your, in one case, for your tires that you made. You wanted to charge the people who came into your tire store less because it didn't cost you as much to make the tire as it did B.F. Goodrich. That person went to jail because of it. Their business destroyed. If you didn't hang the Blue Eagle, which meant price controls, which was FDR's system of we're going to pay people a certain wage, we're going to charge a certain amount of money. If you didn't put that in your store, if you didn't abide by it, the guy who was running this program actually said, and this is a quote, if somebody doesn't play by the rules, I'm going to sock him in the nose. Well, a lot of people would have rather had a sock in the nose. Instead, they went to jail. You know what I figured out yesterday? I was on the elevator, and I'm thinking about all of this stuff, and I'm thinking, you know what's amazing? These progressives have put people in jail before. They've done it over and over again. Whenever they have power, it starts to go towards fascism, and they put people in jail. But yet fascism is always tied to the Red Scare and the McCarthy era. The only time there were ever trials in America, the only time that people were ever called in and then their lives were destroyed, that people really know in this country, the McCarthy hearings. Now, why is that? Have you ever been to a communist meeting? Are you now or have you ever been a communist member? Communist meetings. Were those also progressive meetings? Could you be somebody who went to a communist meeting but then became a progressive?